pretty popular in pubs at basically all MMR levels because, you know, it's like when Legion came out, everyone's like, oh, this is so broken, you could have infinite damage. But the reality is that against good players, it's harder to get a huge amount of stacks up. So maybe it'll function well because it's still being played in pubs a decent amount. And it has forced Wildcard Gaming to switch their lanes as a result, or at least they chose to switch their lanes. Tiny being played as a 3 instead of as a 1, where it's traditionally played right now.
How do you feel about just the fact that they've made this shift? Like, is it something that you're still, you know, pretty happy about?
In terms of, yeah, I think it can work. The negative about Tiny not being a carry right now is that he's certainly been nerfed in terms of his burst damage. His Avatos burst damage combo, way less damage. Not way less, but it is less damage than it was before. It used to be a huge amount of damage. So you could kind of just get levels, get a Blink Dagger, and start blowing up supports. You have better Disable now because Avalanche layers perfectly, pretty much, so it does a constant stun when you get Avalanched, but your burst damage is weaker. So there's positives and negatives, and that's the main reason that Tiny's win rate went up.
All right, well, looks like the Dvilama's going to be able to go grab a rune, and we're off and running here. This is throwing me off because of Wildcard's voice lines. That's actually that's a friend of mine, so it's really throwing me off extra hard.
Those.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the game goes. Like they talked about on the panel, having TA and Drow on the same lineup is usually too much carry potential. Both heroes want to usually sit back and hit creeps. So while they might get a better laning setup, if they get to have a Drow versus a Necrophos, the downside is that they're going to have to worry about how the mid-game impact feels. If Quincy Crew gets off to a good laning stage start, more flanking him back off and hit creeps, and the 4 other players on his team are going to go around making action happen, and it might be hard for either TA or for a Drow to offset that or to feel accomplished doing so.
I mean, on the flip side of that, though, too, you do have, you know, early kind of roamers as well on the team. You've got, you know, the Snapfire. You've got the Tiny, like you said, who's going to be able to do, you know, a lot of burst damage depending
he
on
can,
how
yeah.
set up. So, I mean, I understand. Nice shards here coming out from MSS. Trade back and forth a little bit. But, yeah, no, it's... I see where the criticisms are coming from, but I also don't think that it's necessarily that scary, perhaps?
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. They can definitely make some stuff happen, but we'll see what build Divide goes for. I assume he's going to go more spells, less like the max tree grab into shard type stuff, because then you'd have 3 farmers, right? He's going to need to have some damage coming out of his build, otherwise he'll struggle a little too much. But right now it's a tri-lane situation. Wildcard Gaming did lane swap the Drow to the bot lane because they wanted to lane him against Necro. That's going to give Necro a small laning advantage as he gets more last hits while Eves was moving over. And then the tri-lane's going to help guarantee that War has a good time, since he is their carry this game. If he has a bad time and he's up against like a TA and a Drow, it would be harder for him to remain competitive here. So right off the bat, things look okay for Quincy Crew.
That's having to be a little bit careful. Is getting chipped down a bit here over in the mid lane, but otherwise seems just fine.
Yeah, Quinn did a nice job there. Remnant pulled him a little bit into tower, so he ends up getting some good damage in. But Esk does have his bottle finished here.
Ooh, the play though. Gonna try. Nope, Quinn. Gonna go and draw that first blood.
Man, this is huge. He's gonna get double water runes as a result of this, because it's 12 seconds till TA gets up. So his mana pool is empty, but right now it's going to be much closer to full by the time he finishes this. This is a nice thing that's going to help offset having to spend a lot of resources to get that kill and TA coming back at full HP.
Yeah, that is the dream, of course, having the maximum efficiency. It just so happened to play out that way. But also seeing that the courier getting sniped away from Dvilama, so a little bit of movement going on.
That is painful. I didn't see what was on it, but he currently has no regen in his inventory.
It's just a glove of haste, I believe.
Okay. There is a lot on Alex, at least, so that'll be fine.
Nice little block there, using the shards.
Yep, and they just resume normal laning because they got the start they wanted. Morphling all the way up to 15 last hits, so he's top in the charts. In fact, 3 Quincy Crew heroes are right now, so they're pretty happy with this. So 1k gold advantage at 3 minutes is a pretty significant amount. We'll see if it changes much, but for now, they're going to be really happy with their game state.
How do you feel about the whole shard over on Necrophos now, the Death Seeker? It's a new ability that was added?
I mean, it's been around for a while, but Necro has not been very popular, but it's a great shard. It's one of those that feels kind of good to get quickly because it does so many different things. It starts another Death Pulse. It also effectively gives you E-Blade, which helps you get solo kills. You can save allies or yourself in a secondary way. You can E-Blade enemies to stop them from attacking. So it does so many things that it's probably one of the best shards in the game, I would say.
Okay.
And you gotta choose when you buy it, of course, but it's really effective for sure.
Nope, looks like they're not gonna go for the dive on Sam. But just push him back a little bit here in this lane.
Yeah,
Does have some regen though as well, so he should be just fine.
Yeah, this duel lane's not so much about getting kills necessarily. It's more about like stabilizing Kezu, getting a little bit of front line, because if Necro gets off to a good start, gets some nice gold and levels, then he can kind of become this like guy that just doesn't ever leave the lane and forces enemy heroes to have to leave here.
I mean, they did manage to go, and I think they got the snipe on his boots coming out for Kezu there.
Okay, that helps a lot, because Necro's real slow.
Yeah. Looks like they're going to try to make some action, though. Use the disruption over onto MSS. Just keep throwing out some of that shadow poison. You have to be careful. Yeah, there we go. It's a dead Tusk, and they'll chase out to Kezu. Kezu, of course, going to have to teleport away. Knows that they don't have anything to cancel out that TP, although he came very close to death.
Yeah, that was a great read by Wildcard Gaming there. Recognizing that Tusk was very killable. And yeah, this duel lane just doesn't have that much damage. Tag team doesn't really work that great with Necro. His agility gain's atrocious. His attack speed's not that high. So that duel lane has some issues, certainly, but Tusk later on is going to be great. There's some nice minus armor. He can save his allies if they get gone on, so MSS should have a decent game here, especially if he can keep Necro alive in these dangerous moments. Game's about evened up again, though. Net worth is equalized here, and Divine Llama is getting more Avalanche than Tree Grab, as expected.
Yeah, I expect him to be the most mobile, really, on the team, just making things happen early on. Like you said, the other two are going to be pretty hard focused on just farming up for the most part.
Yeah, exactly. And he's queuing up a Magic Stick and a Blink Dagger. He's got Treads finished now, so this is basically just the standard Tiny build. Fast Blink, then he's going to try to make stuff happen for his team.
And I feel like that's such a good combination, too, right? Because like you move around with Alex over on the snap bar, you get quite a bunch done. Nice gust play here. Multi-shot. Trying to get as much damage as they can over onto Kezu. Just going to keep kiting. Look at that. Oh, Ghost Shot coming out last second, trying to buy just a bit more time to keep him alive. They'll end up losing Sam instead.
That was a really good attempt. Very close to getting the kill, but Shadow Demon kind of wanted to throw one more poison. It would have done a little bit more damage. And he knew that Necro was not quite going to die at that level. So on the bright side, though, they did get him to pop Wand before using Ghost Shroud and everything. That was basically the game.
Good gust. Just hit back here. 3 heroes in this bottom lane. They're just going to chase after this. This is not looking good with the bug on top of Milan. Gets the kill. And it looks like they're going to go for a dive over on Sam. So they go right underneath the tower, stab the Reaper's sight, and they'll make sure that he's not coming back to lane anytime soon.
Perfectly done. And think how different the game would have been here if they got that kill on Necro. Like, completely different laning circumstances, right? But if Necro pops Ghost Shroud, he takes more damage, then the poison stacks kill him. So he did the right thing in that previous fight. They end up not getting the kill. That cascades now to Eve's getting dove. It's just looking a little bit rougher for them. And Kezu starts off with some nice regen.
Dire are scanning.
I hate Necro. I hate this hero. It's just so, like, it's so sustainable, right? Like,
yeah.
You know,
just sit in the lane.
Oh, Milan? Milan finding Eve here in the corner. I'm going to throw off a couple of these little taps.
This is definitely the tough thing about trying to lane shift the Drow here, because now you're in this off-lane situation. It's a little bit farther away to your tower. You know, the first 5 minutes or so, he's going to struggle there. On the bright side, it leaves Divine Llama in a good place. And the guy is very good at snowballing games. He does it on his Timber Saw typically. This is obviously a different playstyle, but he's got 750 gold towards his Blink Dagger. So as long as his next 5 minutes or so look okay, it should allow him to create some space for Drow.
Definitely has to feel a bit pressured, you know, the idea that you are the one that's going to have to be making the space. And trying not to, you know, get disturbed too hard. But it doesn't feel like they're putting too much pressure. It also feels like a little bit like a gentleman's agreement, right? So you have, you are like just doing things with his Morphling up here, not really being too bothered. Middle lane, though, they aren't making the jump. They see Esk. They're going to try to get as much damage off, all with the snowball. They've got the bug on. Scatterblast coming through, but they'll end up losing Esk. And Alex is not looking too healthy now either. Do they chase after, though? They have that Urn Charge on him. Tight.
Should be good, as long as Milan doesn't
Close
catch him.
20. Oh, yeah, you know Milan's going for that. No way.
Ooh. A little greedy there. He had a salve ready, so he wanted to just hide in the trees, heal back up, and not have to go back to base. But this is a tough one. The pressure continues. Like, they're basically killing the bot tier 1, or at least they got it very low. Kezu's going to resume laning, but they're also diving mid. They're just kind of taking the fight to them all over the place. And the one thing that's still going well is Divine Llama getting levels. He's not going to get zoned. He's got 10 armor now from his Grow ultimate, so it's not like he has to worry about getting outlaned unless he gets ganked. So, I don't know. He's the one that's got to play well.
Is it going to be enough, though? Like, when you consider the fact that they're really struggling with the Drow here and the other lanes, obviously, since, you know, Quinn won over in mid.
It certainly can, because, I mean, you don't necessarily need both TA and Drow to hit creeps the whole time, to hit neutrals. One of them can help out with a kill. If Tiny does a bunch of damage, and you just add a little bit extra on top from Drow, that'll help offset some of Tiny's lack of burst. But here comes the gank on the safe lane. Quinn did TP rotate for this. He's sitting hidden. We'll see if he can get Eves. He's got to be careful not to get silenced. That's going to interrupt the combo.
Jump forward immediately. Okay, we do have the silence, but they have the Remnant down. Now Eve running for his life. The side comes through. It's enough damage. And Sam wandering over here. Doesn't want to be here. He's just going to keep throwing out a little bit of that poison over here onto Quinn, but he figures he's a lost cause at this point. So yes, Quinn will collect. And Esk and Alex are nearby. Not sure if they want to fight into this right now. Alex, of course, sitting at level 4. Milan walking right into Esk. Already has the bugs into place. Followed with the snowball, with the shards, and another kill for Quinn. So this is looking pretty rough right now for the side of Wildcard.
Yeah, this is the exact reason why you got to be careful with this like double right-clicking same hero kind of thing, because it does leave you with weaknesses. So maybe the laning stage looked a little bit better for them, but now if the laning stage goes a little bit rough for one of their lanes in the Drow, then this pressure continues, where they just say, okay, we're not just beating the offlane now we're going to invade and like mess with what the mid player wants to do. TA's died 3 times now from all this pressure that's came, so looking scared for Wildcard with 3k gold advantage from Quincy.
I think he's right in next to MSS, and it's gotta be scary. I feel like TA is also one of those, like, she's definitely, you know, gotten a lot stronger over time, especially with the Sideblade spell changes and whatnot, but she is one of those heroes too that if she dies too many times, it just feels bad.
It does, yeah. You're supposed to stay ahead on the hero. You're supposed to have a pretty strong laning stage, then you're supposed to clear a lot of neutrals, and you're supposed to catapult that into a Roche kill, ideally, and then kind of continue from there. It's a little bit easier to play from behind now in some ways because the hero has better late game carry potential than she used to. That's why she's part of the reason she's been so popular in the last like 6 months or more. But yeah, playing from behind is going to struggle things a bit for sure. Because if good teams are not going to let you like sit back and outfarm your team. They're just going to like cross the map and farm on their side of the map and not let you have time to catch up. That's the scary thing.
Go for a little bit of a scan over to the Roche pit, but Sam being bullied in this bottom lane is just going to throw Milan into the bubble. Just going to time-lapse it off. He's just trying to hold on to this towers. There's a Snapfire Kisses coming in over onto Kaz. Should be enough damage this time around. He's not going to be able to cheese his way out of this one.
Great job by Sam there, recognizing that he was out of position, and Alex able to pick up the 6, probably, maybe with the tome, I'm not sure, but Sam picks up level 7 from that, so that was a good moment. Very needed for Wildcard.
And I think we have the Blink Dagger coming out soon for Divine Llama, so things could start to equalize a little bit more for the side of Wildcard. It's definitely needed. Don't have to worry about those Snapfire Kisses, though. That is a lot of early damage that they possess, but perhaps they can just take advantage of the Tiny and what he provides here. Yeah, look at this. He's gonna teleport down.
That's kind of unfortunate for Devi, actually, that he spots him there. I guess they defend the tower, but now he was hoping to get like a TP in Avatos kill. But now that they know Tiny's bottom and they saw him teleporting, that means everyone else can play aggressive on the map. So you're gonna see Yawar just slap this tier 1 tower top. That's the only guy that he's scared about is Tiny right now.
True. Feels like they want to open up the map, though, and like put this pressure down here, because you can see just how many of the heroes they have rotated down. Perhaps they're thinking, you know, Yawar is going to be taking that tower anyways. We might as well do some mirroring movements.
But the tough thing about this is like, yeah, they will glyph this, so Milan's going to get out without getting denied. But it's really, really hard when you see them rotate like that, because you want to get a kill and then take the tower, usually. If it's just like you get the tower with 4 heroes sitting around, it feels a little bit bad sometimes.
And they just got 2 towers now. They got the middle and the top.
Exactly. And
that doesn't feel great.
That's all because of the unfortunate circumstance where Divine Llama got spotted while he wants to kill the tier 1 tower. Milan sort of looking out a little bit in that vision.
Everybody's getting Dragon Lances here. Alex cookie hopping forward. Walrus Punch to connect, though. Throwing out the Scatter. Nice hop in here from Divine Llama, trying to burst down MSS. He can't do it quite fast enough, though. Step forward, coming out from Quinn, dragging back. Will manage to get the kill onto Alex. Divine Llama not sitting very healthy himself now. Is forced away as Sam just continues to try to throw out some of that harass, trying to just push back over onto Kaz. He does have to be careful, though, as the team sitting very nearby and ready to jump in.
And Necro picks up Blink Dagger, tries to use it effectively there, knows he can't ulti though, because if he does, there's going to be a disruption, that guy gets saved, his ulti is wasted, that would have hurt him a lot. So, but kind of a cool item. Again, Necro's movement speed's really bad, but buying Blink here means that he gets to leverage his solid kill potential to put himself in danger, but to get more kills. And because they're winning like this is what they want. Give me that regen.
Yeah.
Gets another 3 HP and 1 mana regen from this, so... Yeah, from here on out, KheZu's almost certainly going to buy just tank items to play the way that Necro's supposed to be played normally, but because he had a good start and because their opponents are not ready to fight anytime soon, he feels really comfortable going for this aggro item, and it was a great choice.
Right now you can see the net worth going over towards the side of Quincy crew, with all 3 of their cores sitting very prettily on top here. And we just really haven't seen much of UR at all, which has got to be like the best feeling as a core, right? You're just left alone, go ahead, hit some creeps.
Yeah.
No stress, no pressure. I mean, we do see a smoke coming out from Wildcard now. So,
MSS,
right place, right time, classic here. So he will end up paying with his life, but we'll be able to protect UR.
Yep, that's exactly what he wanted to do there. And that's one of the first bigger rotations that we've seen Drow make. A little disruption catch in the mid lane. That's going to be Quinn easily jumping out, though. I mean, they've got levels and items on Sammy Boy, which is nice. Divine Llama's got the Blink Dagger, of course, but again, it's hard to get these rotations. It's not easy to take like Drow across the map like that and to get a kill. So when it gets interrupted by a support, that one feels pretty bad. So they'll try to make some plays mid, though. This is a decent position for them.
I feel like they have to equalize these towers, especially because, you know, you want that Roche advantage.
It's either that or the Morphling potentially dies, but it's going to do the safe thing, walk all the way around. They know approximately where their opponents are. They want to defend their mid tower. That's going to help them control Roche. Their opponents do have great Roshing, though.
Disruption has been used. Look at Casey waiting patiently over here on the side if he needs to jump forward. Quinn just stepping forward. We'll see Esk throw out a Melt Strike, drag back with that Remnant. They're just poking a little bit, not hard committing, although they do manage to commit over onto Sam, so they're happy with that. That's a save that won't be available. So Esk is running here, gets the cookie forward. Alex trying to protect him as much as he can. Shards not going to be able to go and trap them. But they've got that Vessel. Was over on Esk earlier. Just gonna pop some of these tracks. Blink forward here from KheZu. They'll be able to clean up, but Divine Llama finding an opening. KheZu get this burst. Yes, they'll take down Milan, and there's gonna be enough damage coming out from Esk to be able to rip apart KheZu.
Man, it ultimately started off with Sammy Boy playing too much like a core, right? He was trying really hard to get that 5-stack on the Tusk. It ends up with him dying. That gives Quincy Crew a moment to cross the map and get some great dives, but these buybacks were perfect there. The counter pressure, picking up the Necro kill was excellent. So it gives them a little bit of comeback gold. That was not bad. It was 2 buybacks, actually. Snapfire as well. They still made about 600 net worth advantage from it. It's not the end of the world, but hey, they're getting some stuff done. Here's that dive. Went a little crazy, but hey, lots of damage. The Snapfire, Avatos on 2 heroes, and the Great Gust coming from Eves, plus the physical damage. Yeah, Necro dies to that easy.
Now it feels like we're just back to farming.
Yoar has never left the farm.
That's true.
Just continues.
He's a country boy. He's a farm boy right there.
I mean, his net worth level is great. Usually Morphling suffers just a little bit compared to most traditional hard carries in the laning stage. This time he had free farm. He's kept his net worth higher than a TA. That's a great sign.
Trying to bait a little bit, it feels like, but with Milan also being here, good Avalanche will slow them down just a bit. Alex is not looking great, though. They got to get that bug off, and not going to be able to do it quite fast enough.
A little D-ward as well. That'll help him control the Roche pit. Yeah, they're just playing really excellent here. Oh, this could be an opening.
It could, indeed, with that Melt Strike, too. That's plenty of damage. Step forward, though, coming out from Quinn. Has that double damage. The taunt coming out. The gust being thrown as well. They've got plenty of multi-shot, but Eski's still not looking too great here. Looks like he's going to fall. Another snowball being tossed out. Ooh, they'll clean up on Sam. They'll clean up on Eve. And Quincy crew just cleaning up.
Yeah, Yoar solidifying how that fight went. When he turns into Tiny, does the Avatos, that stun was really instrumental. I mean, Sammy was sitting there like pump faking disruption, like waiting for the right time, and all of a sudden TA was at half HP, and the Avalanche secured the deal. Just cleaned the rest of them up, and now guaranteed Roche here. They've got bugs, they've got tag team, they've got great physical damage, and This baby's going down. 7K gold advantage now for Quincy Crew.
They get the kill on Divide Llama too in the other lane while this is going down. Yeah, this is easy Roshan here for the side of Quincy Crew.
I mean, Kezu's just a green hero offlane main. That's this hero just fits him well.
Disgusting.
Hey, I like green heroes. I'm one of those weirdos.
You're disgusting.
It's fair to say.
More dewarding. They've just been throwing so much vision up around this area. Look at all the sentries that they had devoted as well on top of that.
I mean, it's very good for vision stuff, right? It's not necessarily just the wards. It's also having to worry about TA traps. Don't let them spot you as you move around looking for kills, because you don't want to have to smoke every time you go for a kill. If you can get on the map and play on enemy territory without getting obvious vision all the time, then you get more freebies, you get to outmaneuver your opponents. So trading that for gold is really worth it when they're so far ahead, because vision is crucial for Wildcard to try to find pickoffs.
Been 25 kills in a 19.5-minute game, by the way.
It's a lot.
Just I feel like this is later than it actually is, but they've just been nonstop fighting. Like they've had very good control over here in this jungle. Quincy Crew just making their way, and all right, they're gonna pay for it eventually. There is 5 heroes there, and that makes sense. But
they do have damage. It is confirmed. Killed the support pretty quick there. Little Soul Catcher, Avatoss, Meld Strike, good stuff. No Deso just yet for TA, but hey, picking him off occasionally is going to give him a little breathing room. And either way, as the game goes on, Dry Ranger is still pretty good against Morphling. Morphling's base armor is what her ulti undercuts, but once Morphling gets like really farmed, then he's just going to get directly on top of Drow, and Drow's not going to be able to do a good job getting away from that. So.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, the positioning in some of these fights has been very, very advantageous whenever they've dove just a bit too far. But when they're the ones setting up the actual fight, it has been having a bit of difficulty here. Milan, though, just trying to scoot you away. The avalanche, the toss, the scatter blast, the cookie, they have the lockdown, so.
That was cool. He tossed back towards Snapfire. Snapfire bought Shard really early. Therefore, he gets a 1.4 second stun with scatter blast, and then he cookies afterwards. That was cool.
Style points.
It's a great way to make a lineup that looks slightly too defensive into good stuff.
Ooh, the jump forward here from Quinn. Just gonna blow up Sam first because they know that he is the one that has the potential saves, and they'll get Eve.
Yeah, that's painful watching Drows die like that. 2 heroes on top of him, goes down to like 30% HP. It's like, yeah, you're just dead.
I like how they tried to put it with Sam, right? The idea of, having some sort of a save, but they weren't expecting all 4 of those heroes to just pop out of the woodwork like that. Maybe 2. Maybe not all 4.
They showed a lot killing the Weaver bottom is what happened, and as a result they said, screw it guys, dive top really hard, because they knew they could get away with it. So, Shard is up on Necro now, so you guys are going to see the Death Seeker. Great way to make sure he gets kills with his ultimate. But also increases the farm rate. I mean, we've got 6 mana regen from Reaper Scythe kills. You can spam your spells a little bit more.
Yeah.
Quinn super farmed as well. He's been neck and neck with Yawar, the Morphling, this whole time. Ags completed, Kaya Sanj completed. He's even got a Grow Bow that's so good on this hero. You get to apply that attack with Astral Step, amplifying all your magic damage by 15%. So he's in a great position right here. He's going to be aiming for those supports in the back line almost every time.
I mean, we've watched him. He doesn't even have to go after supports, honestly. He can go pretty much after anyone he wants.
Yeah.
But obviously, the candy kills, they're shiny. They look nice. That Ags drag back over on to Divine Llama. The rest of the team is here. And York gets a kill.
A lot of setup, even though the Tiny's that tanky. And he had a Nether Shawl, by the way, and he still died pretty easily. So, game gets more and more scary for Wildcard Gaming. Morphling, he's got a Manta finished. He's got a Ultimate Orb. He's a little bit over 1,500 gold away from Scotty. And when Scotty finishes, that's what the panel pointed out. The Scotty timing against this double range core is going to be even worse. And normally that's an important discussion. We might see Kezu die here. We'll see. A lot of magic damage.
He's so tanky. It takes a while, but
yeah,
eventually he does fall. It only took an ultimate to bring him down.
True. He could all chat this. They might dive as a result. See?
The tower going down here.
Disruption Illusions doing some good damage to Yawar here.
Yeah, look at this, Sam. All right, gets drawn right back in again. It's just a couple clicks. It just feels like Wildcard missed these timings that were so critical.
Yeah, they did. The laning stage did not go so well for Eve, so that kind of hurt. If Drow wins the laning stage or does well in the laning stage, it can be really big. You can be aggressive with the hero, but if you're playing from behind, especially in a game like this where your other mid can't just make stuff happen like a Spirit hero, for example, then it makes all of your gank options on the map a lot more difficult. So.
Yeah, Divine Llama's lane didn't go poorly by any means either.
It did not, but
the timings were just a bit off, and having that little bit of extra edge and damage, I think, like you said.
And gank options. It's like they've got damage, but you usually want like maybe one core that's going to plan to hit creeps a lot. And unfortunately, for the first like 10 minutes of the game, they kind of had 3 in some ways. Tiny was hitting creeps a lot because he can't really gank well.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Because he's item dependent. Right?
Exactly. He's very item dependent. He needs Blink Dagger to be until he can come online. So their lineup did not win the lanes, and thus they were like really behind in the mid game because Quincy's been very well punishing since that 10-minute period.
Coin for me.
And here comes the Scotty.
And the Blink 4, they're going to try to make some moves over here on Quinn, but not going to be able to do it.
Silence didn't hit there. Little mistake, but I don't think they would have killed Void Spirit. He actually did have an Illusion Rune anyways, but... And they're playing Shadowblade on Drow. He knows, like, I need to be able to disengage. There's like no other item that's going to give him a better shot than that one.
I mean, they're just always carrying dust, though, on top of it. I don't know.
Yeah, there's obviously great solutions there, but...
Okay, all right. They're going to see if they can make the play. This is 5 heroes, and all right, yeah, they'll kill you this time. Oh, look at that, though. All the silence with the axe just coming out. Quinn, not afraid of anyone, stepping forward here. Oh, he is godlike. As the rest of the team, they've showed up. They're ready to kill. A good avalanche will buy a bit more time, but the drag back here with that remnant is looking at Sam. They'll turn around. It's almost like an afterthought as there's a death pulse going right forward over onto Devi. Milan wants this kill. Does have to be careful. They'll buy back on the Snapfire, and Milan taking too much damage, and the silence will eventually fall. But that does cost them a buyback coming out from Snapfire.
Because he wanted an ulti really bad there, but gets disrupted. As a result, he doesn't get an ulti kill. Things went a little bit better for them there. They got the Drow and the TA next to each other. Tons of agi. Here comes more fight, though.
Again, just on back. Dragon, okay, 2 of those. Try to get as much damage off with another scythe getting dropped. Not quite enough to finish off S, but they will eventually get the kill as MSS also to fall. To step forward over onto Alex. They'll pop Alex. And they're hoping that maybe they can get their hands over onto Quinn, but he is so elusive, it's difficult. All right, there's the avalanche. They'll toss up into the air. The slides maybe just a little bit. Yeah, there we go.
That's, let's do some math quick. 1,648 gold for Drow Ranger. That's not the best. Not the best target. He did kill the support, but giving that back to the enemy carry, that's going to hurt a little bit. They're still very far ahead, but, you know, I'm sure they wish Sammy got that instead.
Then we go back to this small moment of calm after all the, the craziness that just occurred.
There's been a lot of fighting, that's for sure.
It's a pretty big kill count considering the timing of the game so far.
It is, you know. Morphling just keeps hitting creeps here, aiming for BKB next, so he doesn't have to worry about any of these disables or burst damages. Oh, it's just it is a replay. Yeah, this is them killing Morphling.
Damage.
So he actually didn't get strength morph off. And also importantly, he actually wasn't that greedy. He had 2,200 health there to start off that engagement. That was not too bad. There's the bug chase. He's looking to ulti, then he gets disrupted. Didn't want to use it on Sam because he's like, oh, I'm going to get somebody else. They did not get somebody else. And then there's the Quinn pickup. It's really just avalanche, man. It stuns quicker, I believe, as well if you're in melee range. So as long as you have vision of your opponent, like he did on the Morphling initially, then getting those chain stuns is certainly possible. So it was nice by Devi Llama to help start that fight off for Wildcard Gaming.
You can see like the positioning coming out now from the side of Wildcard, just making sure that you can go and hit these creeps.
They're waiting for camp respawn right now is why they're sitting like this. Camps are all dead. They don't want to cross the river necessarily in case Quincy fights in them. So he's just going to sit melded while he waits anyways.
This is like the Bodyguard with Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston right now.
They have to play like this because they are quite behind.
Yeah.
So they have to take fights in good locations. And they can't spread out too much either because then if any fight happens, they will lose it because they're too far behind in net worth. So you're going to see a little bit of 5-manning from Wildcard, which is not a bad thing to do right now. It's just Quincy's also kind of doing the same thing, but they can be a little bit more aggressive with how they hit creeps, so they're safer.
I feel like they're gonna just draw them into them, right? Like, you know, the Roche is up. No one's showing on the map, then clearly, you know, Wildcard's gonna be like, okay, well, and they're not gonna get there fast enough, even if they knew at this point, because just getting chipped down, that's enough damage.
But again, it's basically like their option. They don't have a lot of good options. This is one of them. If they were on Radiant when they're in this circumstance, you'd feel better, right? Because they're going to do this near the Roshan pit. It'd be easier to contest. But this is the downside about Dire side. If you're playing like this, but you're losing, it's a lot harder to win.
Oh, Sam. Eve nearby. Considering going
Not
in.
bad.
All right, it's a good avalanche coming out, plus all the multi-shot, the pushback. Okay, MSS is down. The big melt strike coming out here from Esk will ensure that they clean up Milan.
All they had to do
Weird.
was stand
Sorry.
there for 2 minutes, and finally they get a double kill. See, it was worth it.
You know, like you said, they have to pick and choose their battles. They have to fight intelligently. And it, you know, managed to keep Eve alive while he hits creep. So it's kind of what's being banked upon right now.
Yeah, not too bad.
Those neutral items dropping. Nice finds here.
If Quickening Charm on Void is quite good, it's a lot of spells to spam, so that'll be nice to have. But it's going to go for some armor now. They are still a little bit vulnerable to silence right now. It's not necessarily something you want to have to buy a whole item for, because Drow silence is kind of like, it's not like Drow's going to like blink and silence you and you're going to die. It's more like you go try to kill somebody and she silences you back, and you're like, I don't necessarily want to have to buy BKB to solve this problem. But once Quincy crew gets to that position, they're going to feel a lot better about committing to these fights. So they're going to play a little bit safer now. Having Aegis is going to be a great way to high ground.
A little bit off the mark there, jumping onto Milan.
A lot of heroes sitting mid still, though.
Vilama making his way top.
They're going to get spotted, though. See if they get caught.
So the question is, how do they approach this? Okay, yep, that's, like you said, they get caught. Nice kill on Alex. And the tower will go down.
Doing so much damage, dude. Great warding, though. Spots them rotating back. They'll get a range barracks easy.
Do you have the Spotty online now for the Drow? They find the opening, though. Toss back. All right, they're going to try to just burst down UR if they can, but not quite able to. As Quinn jumping forward, gets the taunt off over onto TA. Disruption comes into play. Needs a multi-shot, just making sure that they can't really follow. But that is a Rax gone here in the top area. The Vilama wants a little bit more. The toss back into everyone, but they have to be careful. That silence, there's going to be the scythe coming out. Not quite enough, but there it is. Yes, they'll get the kill on Eve. And now Sammy, he's just going to get tracked down by a snowball. Oof. Will turn their attention over to the mid lane.
That's tough that they had to force fights like this, because Snap wasn't up to get that instant stun follow-up. As a result, their Avatos combo was a little finicky. Oh, creep spawned. He still gets him back, though.
But they can do toss back with a waveform forward. This is not looking good for Vilama, as he is dead. We'll toss out some of the Snapfire Kiss. Is not going to be able to do quite enough damage here, as they're able to just snowball forward. Cancel this out. They tried to finish up over onto Esk. Not going to be able to quite do it. Sam throwing out the disruption. They'll get the kill over onto Alex. Milan is just clicking away over here on Sam. He gets himself a double kill. It is looking real bleak right now for Wildcard, because they're just going right for these tier 4s and looking to end.
Yep.
There's a
tier
GG.
4s. It's not worth continuing the game. Obviously,